Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Thunder Politics on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. Tonight, we begin the conversation speaking with a politician who commands a huge followership in northern Nigeria, who has attempted to be Nigeria's president twice. We are at a point in Nigeria's politics that the debate is being on the quality of leadership that people need to move the nation forward. It's a major political year for Nigeria, and expectations are high. We have joining me tonight on the program a former federal lawmaker, a former federal cabinet member, and a two-term governor of Kano State, Senator Robio Musa Kwankwaso. He joins us from his residence in Abuja. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight. I guess it would be
Sean, thank you very much.
There are rumors, and now that we have you on the program tonight, it will be good for us to start in clearing the air and doing some house cleaning details so that we can get straight ahead on the focus of the conversation. First and foremost, is it true that you're planning to go to the APC or returning to the APC?
Sharon, thank you very much for having me. And Sharon, I have never told anybody that I have decided to go to APC or any other party for that matter. I am in PDP, and I have seen so many speculations over a very long period, especially from my brothers and sisters in the APC, claiming that I am planning. In fact, so many people have even fixed dates for me to move from PDP to APC. I think it is just a fake news. And even though it makes me feel very happy that many people in APC, those who have worked together with me in that party, those who, for whatever reason, didn't see reason in ensuring that my humble self and other colleagues were kept in the party, now are passing or sending all these sort of messages around saying that I'm leaving the PDP for the APC. But I'm happy to say that we are working very hard together with my colleagues in PDP to ensure that we have success in the forthcoming election. So that's where we are now, but we wait and see how it goes. I'm sure maybe by this year, many things will be very clear to everybody in this country.
Can we then say clearly that you're perfectly in a good state of health in terms of membership of your party in the PDP and your status thereof, and that everything is fine with you and the PDP?
Yes, you know, politics is very dynamic, and we are working together with our colleagues in the PDP. But as we all know that some of us were in the APC and, of course, PDP. I was one of the founding members of the party in 1998 to 99 when I was opportune to be the governor of Kano State. I was also Minister of Defense under PDP. I was, of course, in the NDDC, member representing the Northwest Zone in NDDC. So I have benefited a lot and contributed a lot in the PDP. So also in the APC, I was one of the founding members or people who have worked so hard for the party to win election in 2015. So I'm happy that I know all these parties very well, and many of them are my friends, and we are communicating very well.
So, let's clear it, and so that Nigerians get it once and for all. You are not planning to leave the PDP, and you will not leave the PDP. Does that represent the state of your mind and your disposition as a politician as we speak right now?
Yes, as we speak, Shaun, there is no any plan for me to leave PDP to join APC or any other party. Of course, there were issues which are very clear to almost everybody, that we had a Congress in April last year in Kaduna, which I felt, and many of my supporters in the Northwest and even beyond felt that I was not being treated well, and Kano was not being treated the way it should be. And therefore, I believe that was the beginning of those issues, to the extent that people thought because of that we would leave the PDP for APC or any other party. I'm aware that so many attempts were being made by PDP to go and conclude the Congress in Kaduna. And even this new ESCO contacted me, briefing me that they are very willing to go and do the right thing in Kaduna. And that unresolved issue is still what created the room for so many rumor that is going around in this country and even beyond.
So let's also then get to know, because this is also part of the story, that you are perhaps in communication with Governor Ganduje, and perhaps that your rift with him has been resolved. Is that also correct?
Yes, I'm sure people were making all these statements because recently when I lost my junior brother, Governor Ganduje, and many people, senior people in his government and in his party, decided to come and condole me and my family on the death of my brother. Now, this is, to me, a welcome idea, because from 2015, when he became the governor of Kano, people did not see him in my house or anywhere close to that. But this time around, he decided to come. And I'm happy that he came, because we believe in politics of peace and progress. We believe in ensuring success in Kano State and in this country. So anybody who was either against us or thought that he had reasons to keep a distance and now sees reason to come forward, to me is a welcome development. But it is very clear to me and everybody that there was no any discussion beyond that visit.
Before I go into some other areas, quickly, I wanted us to clear some of these political matters before we go into the national issues. You were instrumental in determining your successor in office, of which your deputy, the present governor, Umaru Ganduje, succeeded you. I'd like to ask, do you have any regrets, for those who said you installed him, quote and unquote? Do you have any regrets ensuring that he was your successor in any way?
Sheung, is very unfortunate that it's very difficult to remember any good example in terms of secession in this country from 1999 to date. But many people are keeping their eyes on Kanu, especially because of my earlier relationship with the governor, because he was my deputy governor from 1999 to 2003, and of course my essay when I was Minister of Defense. And thereafter, in 2007, I lobbied the then President Yaradua, and of course he got a job in Chad Republic to be the executive secretary of Chad Basin. And he was there when I got ticket in 2010, and asked him to resign and come back to Nigeria to be my deputy. And when I was going, I thought we should have an inclusive government by supporting him to become governor. And when he became governor, many issues started, to the extent that I had to stay away from Kanu for 3.5 years. And I was a service senator, even though I didn't want to. I actually wanted to go to Kanu to see my constituents, see my extended family, and so on. But it's just part of the game. As I said, even if it were somebody, probably it would have been the same, or at least like we have seen elsewhere. As I told you, I cannot remember any very good example of people who have handed over to their successors and stay for some time without issues. So I have no regret whatsoever, because we are still strong, in fact, much stronger than 2015, not only in Kanu, but across the country and beyond. So I'm so happy that we are still alive and strong in the game, to the extent that the governor and many other people.
So if I may ask you, if you have the opportunity, a few times you said that you have given the name of Governor Ganduje for appointment or for positions up to the point of becoming your deputy and eventually becoming governor. If you have the opportunity to put his name down for any position again, would you do so?
Sharon, politics is very dynamic, and of course, at any given time, once something crops up, you look around and see the best person for the job. In any case, we are not in the same party with Dr. Ganduje now, and therefore, I think the suggestion that we are making, it should not even be on the table, because we are in different parties. Maybe we should wait and see how it goes before thinking that Dr. Ganduje is as good as other people that are with me at the moment.
All right. A very critical question is that when anybody see you, the term the Kwankwaso movement comes to fore, and of course, looking at your red hat, that is the insignia that most of your followers across Kano and in some part of the country, that's how you can easily identify them. But for those who are saying that the Kwankwaso movement has been badly decimated, that it has been reduced to a group that cannot even win election, how do you react to such?
Yes, for those who are familiar with Kano and, of course, national politics, will always remember our leader, the late Malam Aminu Kano, of blessed memory. And we started, we are the followers of Malam Aminu Kano, especially when we were very young, when we were even children. We believe in his philosophy. We believe in what he stood for, and that is exactly what Kwankwaso also stands for. And for you and probably some other people who don't know, this cap, the red cap we are wearing, is not only because of the Malam Aminu Kano himself, but because of what he stands for. First of all, as you mentioned, we use the red cap for identification and mobilization. If we go out now into any rally or any group meetings and so on, we use it clearly to say that these are the people who believe in our ideology. And the issue of ideology is very critical, especially in today's politics. You find people moving from point A to B, C, D, and so on, not knowing precisely what they stood for. Even the parties that we have today are also finding it difficult to believe in a particular ideology. So the red cap not only stands on the issue of mobilization, but also the color indicates hard work, integrity, and of course emancipation of our people from the difficulties that they find or we find ourselves today in this country and even before now. And the white is the issue of peace. We are very peaceful people. We want to ensure that families, towns, villages, and the country is in complete peace. And of course, other issues associated with that, ranging from humility to education. Because
Senator,
our movement believes in education and education.
That movement, sorry, okay, so what I was pointing out is there are criticism down in Kano and in some parts of the country that the Kwankwaso movement is not as viable as it used to be. That is, you've lost election on that platform in the recent past, and that it's been decimated, and it can no longer win election as far as Kano is concerned. How do you react to that?
Now, you see, Sheun, I contested elections 16 times, and I only lost 3 and won 13. One is in 2003 when I was a sitting governor, based on sentiments, mainly religious sentiments, that our group at that particular time really was too liberal. And we had, on the other hand, people who came on the extreme side of the religion and making a lot of noise and so on. So that was the first election that I lost. And the second one was in Lagos, when I contested primary elections in 2015 in Lagos with the President Buhari and others, where I was opportuned to be number 2 in that election. And the third one was, of course, the 2019 in Port Harcourt. And all these things, we all know why it happened, but the fact of the matter is, today, for those who are conversant and those who really know politics, because you have to be in the business to even understand, many people thought that members of Kwankwaso, or all of them, are wearing red cap. I can tell you that it's just a very small fraction. Kwankwaso today is not only in Kano or Northwest or Northern Nigeria, or even in the country. It goes beyond that. We have offices, so many offices in African countries today, some even in Europe and America and so on. People, especially the young men and women, who have seen our programs and projects. Because unlike Aminu Kano, the present day Kwankwaso had a lot of opportunities under my humble self and many other people who have worked so hard, who have convinced most of the people in this country that that is the best way to go. Kwankwaso is all about good leadership, strong leadership, ensuring that the right things are done, ensuring integrity, and ensuring accountability while somebody is on the steering of leadership.
All right. So, I mean, it brings to the fore. You mentioned part of what I'm going to put to you, Your Excellency, and it's the fact that you have always wanted to be Nigeria's president. On 2 occasions now, you have made an attempt. You lost in the primary to President Buhari. You came second in that in 2014 for the 2015 ticket when you and some of your colleagues in the PDP moved into to form the coalition called the APC. In 2019, you lost to Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the PDP. Do you still hold that ambition? Do you still have the ambition? Do you still want to be Nigeria's president in 2023?
Seun, I have not heard the last portion, the question itself. What is the question, please? I can't hear you. I couldn't hear what you said.
Let me come again. So I made a background. I gave a background rather to the fact
yes,
that
I have heard the
always
background.
wanted to be president. Yeah. So
yes,
the question is, how do you still have the ambition of wanting to be president in 2023?
Okay, I have now heard the question, even though I didn't hear the last portion. You are asking whether I still have the ambition to become president of this country. The answer is, right at the moment, I am making all the necessary consultations and contact. We have friends all over the country. We are talking to each other. And I believe that we are almost there. Because this is 2022, and the election itself is coming first quarter of 2023. So I think it's just a matter of a little bit of patience. In the next couple of months, I believe everything will be clear, and we will even invite you to come and, of course, hear our own position on the issue of contest. We don't just go into the field.
I mean,
like
it's
that.
interesting.
I believe
it's interesting because I'd like to take you to the question of fairness that people have raised into that race. For those who think that it's only fair that there's a balance, and your party, the PDP, institutionalized the matter of rotation, and is it okay for you to think that the presidency should go to the north again this time around, considering that President Muhammadu Buhari from the northwest would have concluded 2 terms of his presidency in 2023, and he's from the northwest, from the northern region of the country. You are perhaps also from the same region of the country. For issues of fairness and equity and perhaps balance, is it fair to go back to the north?
You see, many people are mixing what ordinarily shouldn't come together at all. We have PDP, we have APC, we have ABGA, and we have many other parties today in this country. And the issue of where a party put its presidency or vice presidency is a matter of strategy. If you look at from 1999 to date, or even up to 2023, we have 16 years of PDP and, of course, 8 years of APC. Now, in the 16 years of PDP, we had a situation where the presidency has been in the south for 14 years and only in the north for 2 years during the Sheikh Umar Musa Adua of blessed memory. Now, you see, some people, maybe because they don't understand the politics, maybe they want to be mischievous, they keep on mixing the two issue of two political parties. These are PDP and APC are contestants in this game. I have never seen anywhere in the world where two contestants or three or four decide to sit down and start deciding what they will do themselves. Like we have seen recently in Lagos, where governors of the South met on this issue of North and South. And we believe that that is not the best way to go about it. It's just like football teams that are going to contest among themselves to sit down. One is saying that, look, because I know I have to bring my first 11 from this part of the country, the others who are flexible to either bring there or elsewhere, they are just coercing themselves to say that you have to bring your second team. And that is not the best way to do it. And you see, I have not been in this game for too long. I'm only 30 years from the days of my House of Reps, which was 1992 when I was Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps. To date, most of the presidents I supported were presidents from the South. You know, going by antecedents, going by our experiences, we were so lucky that I came from a state which is very cosmopolitan. We live with so many ethnic groups. We live happily with Christians and Muslims and even people with no religions, or people from other parts of the world who are not either Christians or Muslims. And I am personally in politics and contesting elections, not because I'm a Christian or a Muslim, not because I come from the Northwest or Southwest. And that's why we work so hard. Unlike many other people who decide to be, with due respect, lazy, and they always use the issue of sentiments, religions, zones, and so on. If you look at from 1992, when I was in the House of Reps, our candidate then was Chief MK Abiola in the SDP. We supported him to the last. He won in an election. And coincidentally, just recently, our leader died. We pray to Almighty God to give him Jannatul Firdaus. That's Tofa, Alhaji Bashir Usman Tofa, who died just recently. He was the candidate of APC. We are in the same Gandun Albasa, same polling booth, same ward, same local government. We defeated him there in favor of MK Abiola. And all this, everybody in this country also remember that in 1999, I was governor-elect when we went to Jos. Our own man, our leader, our father in politics, Boubacar Rimi, was really wanted to be the president of this country. I didn't support him. I was governor-elect. Almost 100% of the votes were given to Obasanjo, Chief Obasanjo. And he won the election there. In fact, we literally forced him to step aside in Jos. And our candidate that time won, a Yoruba man and a Christian. And you see, when people just to go to one side of the country to look like they are, intimidating or saying anything, that's not politics. The politics is let's talk together, let's work together as a party, not you go there and decide that for us. That's not how it works. Even our leader, the former president, Jonathan, we worked for him in 2011 and indirectly worked for him in 2007 when Yar'Adua was contesting. So ours is not, I'm not in politics just because of the religion or the zone or this or that. And that's why when I saw people of different parties sitting, it's just like now you are talking of Ganduje. I wouldn't go and sit down with Ganduje in Kano and start talking of how we will field candidates in Kano and so on and so forth. We are not in the same party. When we become in the same party, then we discuss.
So
you see,
Your Excellency,
so many people don't understand how to. Sorry, I can't hear.
We're due for a break, but we're due for a break right now. But I would like to take your concluding thoughts in another few minutes, but we need to take a break. But when we return, Dr. Otive Ibuza will be joining me, and that's after we've taken the closing thoughts of Senator Kwankwaso, and he's going to be talking to us about the APC National Convention, the dilemma, and some of the issues that have been raised, especially with trying to unite the party ahead of February convention. Will it happen? Will it not? Dr. Otive Ibuza is here with me in our Abuja studio. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Our concluding moments now with a former Minister of Defense, two-time Governor of Kano State, a former Senator, and a former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senator Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso, who has been speaking with us from his residence here in Abuja. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I'll conclude the moments with you. Quickly, I'd like to ask you, and looking at what is happening, you're trying to give a background to all of the issues and the way you see and perceive the issues of zoning. So just in a sentence, you're saying that you don't think that North do not deserve to go again for presidency.
You see, all I'm saying is that the governors and other stakeholders in southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria should sit down and look at all the facts and figures. What is important is understanding. Nobody, either north or south, should sit down and take a decision on where presidency should come from. And I think there's a lot to be learned by what happened in the past. Obasanjo didn't go to Lagos to meet and say it has to go to the south. In fact, when we were supporting Obasanjo in 1999, many people from the southwest of Nigeria did not support him. Of course, when we were supporting MKO Abiola, many people in the southwest didn't see reason in supporting him. And of course, even in 2007, when we were working for Eradua and Jonathan, many people didn't see that. And especially in 2011, when Jonathan himself from the south, from minority, even in the south, many people didn't believe in that, but we worked for him and he won the election. So what I'm just trying to say is that there must be no any intimidation or harassment on anybody. Politics is all about negotiations, understanding. And you see, the person who is becoming the president himself
on this point,
is key to
Senator.
all that.
Yeah. All right, let's anchor on this. Do you think that if the APC and PDP go to the polls today, head-to-head, in a presidential election, do you think that the PDP has what it takes to defeat the APC?
You see, all the two parties have a lot of work to be done. We are all aware that PDP was in power from 1999 to 2015, and from 2015 to date is APC. People had reasons to change from PDP to APC. Today we have government that, to me, to put it mildly, that it doesn't understand or they have no capacity to do anything better than what PDP has done. And that's a general impression across the country. And even PDP itself is also counting on the weakness that we have seen both in government and party, the APC. And up till now, we have at least this solid 1 year in January before the election. And in politics, 1 week is a very long time, not to talk of over 12 months. So all the two parties have to do a lot of work because we have seen what is happening during elections. You find very small fraction of people who registered were going for real election. Sometimes less than 20%, as we have seen elsewhere. And maximum you find 30%, which is not good enough. you find yourselves in those situations because people don't believe in the parties. Of course, many don't even believe on the candidates. And I think if we have only two major parties in 2023 going for polls, unless if there are good candidates, because that will be key, because people have seen the weaknesses of all these two parties. Unless if the only difference, key thing, is that of the candidate. And I think one thing that PDP has to learn, if it has to win election, is that they have to get people, candidate that is good for the party and also good for the people. Now people, even at the village level, have their eyes opened. They know what they want. They know their friend or friends. And of course, they know those that they will never vote for. So if you just sit in Abuja or anywhere and select or elect somebody based on other parameters and make him your candidate, it's as good as you lost the election on that day, meaning even before the election itself.
We have to leave it at that point, Your Excellency. Yeah. We need to anchor on that point, Your Excellency. Former Governor of Kano State and former Minister of Defense, Senator Robbie Kwankwaso. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate the time.
Shaun, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.